from EDHE. Some of you will know Dr. Linda Clark, who's a director in Entrepreneurship Development and Higher Education. Welcome, Dr. Clark. We're very pleased to see you, and I'm sure that many of our students know your name on paper. I must also acknowledge the presence of colleagues from various institutions. I will just briefly run through them. We have colleagues coming from the BRICS office. I won't mention the names, they will be introduced to you. We also have colleagues from MKI. They will be introduced from APSA, from Itala Bank, from SABY Research and Policy Development, from PPS, and also from the KZ Department of Quality, Safety and Liaison. I'm not sure if I have missed anyone, but if I did, it's not intentional. I know that I have also having a representative from Moses Udam. Yes. And please bear with me. By mistake, I missed your name. It's not intentional. All of you are very welcome to the University of Zululand. I can't leave out the most important guests, that will be our students, because we are here, because we are in support of them and their vision, especially our women students. It's Women's Month, so you are all welcome. And I know that you are led by your Student Representative Council. I know that there are some members here. I'm not sure if the President and the SG are here, but I know that there are members of the SRC with us this afternoon. And I cannot leave out the person who has been preparing for this event. He's been very busy. And that will be Zweleni Mthethwa, I think he's here, and his team. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Molweni, Sangonani, good afternoon. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Mdosi, it gives me profound pleasure to extend a word of welcome to this August event, whose enormity I cannot even begin to overstate. The very fact that our institution, that is the University of Zululand, is today hosting the coveted BRICS, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa brand of 5 great nations of the world, speaks volumes about the significance of this occasion. In this connection, I would also like to recognize and celebrate that our meeting today happens during the year in which our state president has confirmed that South Africa will be hosting the historic 15 BRICS Summit in a few weeks' time. This is indeed a proud moment for us at UNISO. Program Director, in order for all here present to appreciate our excitement about the way of this gathering, please allow me to acknowledge where this comes from and what it stands for. The well-known fact of life that the world we live in is characterized by high levels of inequality and relations of domination and subordination. There are, on the one hand, richer or high-income countries located mainly in the Northern Hemisphere, which include Western Europe and North America, referred to as developed countries. On the other hand, there are poorer countries in the Southern Hemisphere, including all of Africa, referred to as developed. The two sets have come to be known as global north and the global south for developed and developing countries, respectively. This then is the well-ordered context from which BRICS came into existence, and seeking to pose as a power bloc that would temper the dominance of global south, of the global north in the political, economic, and educational spheres of life. When South Africa joined BRICS in 2011, the then Minister of Foreign Affairs articulated the view that joining this group of nations symbolized the country's identification with progressive global forces, working for a better and just world, engaged in a quest to transform the Western-dominated world order. And that is taken from Landsberg and Van Heerden, 2021. Having been a member for just over a decade, we in the South African education sector must now reflect on what BRICS means for us. In particular, as students, especially Unizulu BRICS Student Commission, we have to ask what is our vision with regard to becoming key players in the international platform. That's differently. What can we learn from sister countries? And what can those countries learn from us? To think creatively about these questions may be useful to take a glance at what opportunities could be available with the BRICS Club of Nations. I now come to BRICS higher education opportunities for cooperation. One of the most visible areas of cooperation among BRICS member states is in higher education. The cooperation was implemented through, among other things, the establishment of two main projects. One, the BRICS Network University, that is the BRICS-NU, and a less formalized forum called BRICS University. The BRICS Network University in 2021 was recorded as having a total of 56 participating universities across the 5 countries, 12 of which were South African universities. The main activities of the project included the following. 1, master's and doctoral program offerings in conformity with each other country's regulatory frameworks. It also included short-term training and modular courses. 2, development and implementation of joint research and innovation projects. And 3, academic mobility of students and staff in the BRICS Network University. It can be argued that BRICS Network University framework provides 2 overlapping opportunities for students and academics in the participating nations. The first is that it provides a space to transform internationalization, and the second is that it champions the global decolonization project. Now let's talk about internationalization within BRICS. Having worked in higher education for years, I can share with you the fact that university in the 21st century face the challenge of to become internationalized. In an increasingly globalized and interconnected world, where knowledge networks and systems prevail, internationalization has grown from an occasional outcome, resulting from professors and individual conducts, to be a more deliberate process and part of a strategic task of higher education. In short, it must first and foremost reflect the global character of learning and research. The problem associated with this perspective, however, is that it is expected to happen in an unequal world order. This situation presents the danger of collaborating not in our terms, but of those imposed by the powerful. Research has shown that international education has tended to reflect and promote perspectives of interest of the North. As said by Porter 2013, I quote, open quotes, the top and most affluent universities, the most esteemed and high impact journals, publishing houses, and most obviously funded research centers are overwhelmingly concentrated in the global north. It is here when top scholars are located and where the research agenda gets set, where gatekeepers publishing, that is in journals and books, are to be found, close quotes. In short, the quotation captures one of the key tenets of what decolonial scholars have termed the coloniality of knowledge. Scenario painted by Porter, it is not surprising that historically the bulk of staff and student mobility has between the global north and global south universities, rather than intra-BRICS, thereby perpetuating the asymmetrical world order. Emerging research evidence, however, suggests that in recent years, the BRICS approach to internationalization has sought to change the narrative by promoting South-South cooperation in the BRICS and framework. So encouraging is the progress that has claimed that BRICS countries can be said to represent the vanguard of the global South formation. With more Southern countries yearning to join the BRICS crusade, and assuming that the grouping develops a coherent normative campaign for an alternative world order, there is a reason for optimism. At the end of the day, all intergovernmental agreements can do, all intergovernmental agreements can do is create an enabling environment. The real work must be done from the bottom by citizens and institutions of the BRICS actively participating by translating grand narratives into practical actions that address their everyday needs and realities. The question that we have to ask ourselves is, what can UNIZulu contribute to BRICS educational cooperation? As we wonder about how to leverage the opportunities embedded in the BRICS state-level imaginations, allow me, Program Director, to share with you how UNIZulu as an institution has crafted its vision that can have far-reaching contributions that resonate with educational ideas that BRICS stands for, to build a more just and equitable world order. The University of Zululand, through its strategic vision, known as UNIZulu 2022 to 2027, has embarked on an epic journey driven through the mantra of developing UNIZulu to be a node for African thought. In this quest, we are building on and extending the campaign, which gave prominence during the 2015-2016 hashtag Roads Must Fall students protest, as well as the Global South Academic for the recolonization of the university curriculum. An important aspect of our thinking is that if the BRICS NU curricula are not decolonized, even the intra-BRICS internationalization will not liberate us from the global North epistemic hegemony. Yet, when UniZulu becomes a node for African thought within BRICS, an impetus of the coloniality can be created and permeate the BRICS educational infrastructure, a development which could see the mainstreaming of the hitherto marginalized global South epistemologies. As I conclude, I would like to applaud the UniZulu Student BRICS Commission for being on the right side of history. I would like to urge you to promote your visibility within the BRICS family of nations. BRICS will give you the opportunity to think globally and act locally. Finally, we look forward to the forthcoming 15th BRICS Summit to be held in our motherland, and hope it will open up more opportunities for all of us to participate in the creation of a better world order. Once again, welcome and wishing you fruitful deliberations. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Nomlomo. And speaking on behalf of everyone here, we feel welcomed. And I can see that you are also challenging us here by saying we must think globally, but act locally, which means everything that we will learn from these countries, we need to come back to Zululand and implement. Without wasting time, I would like to introduce our stakeholders that are here today. I will start by introducing our Honorable KZN Premier, who was supposed to be here because of busy schedule, but she managed to send the advisor, her advisor, Miss Linda Zama. Then we also have Miss Mdina, the EXCO member of Majuba District Municipality and the DP-ANCYL. We have Mrs. Como, the MKI Board of Chairpersons. I'm happy to say Mrs. Como works for my faculty, Faculty of Commerce, Admin and Law. Then we have Mrs. Busis Tole from the Office of the Premier. We have our very own Dr. Anne Clark. We know her very well from EDHE activities that are taking place in all the universities. She comes here with her team as well. Then we have Dr. T. Tandega Ellenson, who is the CEO of MKI in her absentia. We want to introduce her. We also have Mrs. Mkabela from ABSA. We also have Ms. Njangase from Itala Bank. We also have Ms. Tembelise Mpungose, Sabia Research and Policy Development Coordinator. We also have Ms. Umende from PPS, our old friends. And then lastly, we have Ms. Kamane from KZN, Department of Community Safety and Liaison Director, Coastal Region. These are the people that are present here today to celebrate with us women and to also help us launch our BRICS Student Commission. I believe that as we are seated here, students, we all understand what is this BRICS all about? How many countries are there? I believe that we know as we are seated here today. So without delaying the program, I would like to call upon Mr. Mzweleni Mthethwa, a go-getter. If he wants something, he will make sure that it happens. He will tell us the purpose of the day. Why are we here? Mzweleni Mthethwa.
Program Director, Prof. Makugaba, our Deputy Dean, Teaching and Learning, part of Commerce Admin and Law. Advisor to the Premier, Miss Linda Zama, the EXCO member of Majuba District, Miss Zina, the Vice Chancellor in absentia, DVC present, Mrs. Como, the MKI Board Chairperson, the Itala Bank representative, Ms. Njangase, CEO of Moses Kotan in absentia, Dr. Alexin, EDHE Director, Dr. Clark, KZN Liaison Officer, present here, the university management present, the deans, HOD, academics, scholars present, and fellow my brothers and sisters present today, especially the female, I greet you all. As it has been said, my name is Zululand, the EDHE Unizulu Studentpreneurs and BRICS, which we are currently launching today. As I was preparing myself to speak about, given the scope, I was inspired by words said by Mahatma Gandhi, be the change you want to see. Moreover, I took a reading upon what once Nelson Mandela said. There are three types of people in the community. One, the undertaker, who takes under and don't care what happens. Second, the caretakers, who take care of other people's business instead of theirs. That those who are in this vein, those who see possibilities in the midst of impossible. You know, it was very hard as we were planning this event and this session. A lot has happened in the space, but finally it has happened. And those who want to see the message of their past into message of the future. Women, it is important to note that it is crucial that as we move forward in South Africa, we are facing high rate of unemployment. As we speak, we are standing at more than 29%, meaning 1 in 8 working adults are under the age of 25 have no job, as compared to the 40% of other emerging countries similar to South Africa. Employment at youth, employment for youth between the ages of 18 and 24 has fallen by 28% since 2008. Youth unemployment is very high, converting to more than 51% from 2013 to 2018. That is a huge number. So we must look into the space whereby entrepreneurship becomes the part and parcel of us. So as the EDHE Studentpreneur, we decided that we celebrate the Women's Day and also partner with BRICS in the launch. Why it is important to partner with the BRICS? Looking at what the BRICS stands for, like the Unizulu Student Commission has 3 pillars, of which is 2 is gender parity and also the inequality, and second to that, the academic space. So it was very important for us to focus on these major three aspects. As we move forward as the country, it's very important to look at those aspects and focus on them in trying to address the triple economic, socio-economic issues we are facing as a country, of which is unemployment, crime, and poverty. So as we were looking into this aspect, BRICS became an important tool. One would recognize in 2019, we as an institution, we launched entrepreneurship as the way and as the future. Then now today, we are saying, we as entrepreneurs, as the key towards fighting unemployment and poverty, is the way to the future. So in terms of trying to understand and trying to combat unemployment, then entrepreneurship remains the key. Therefore, we decided that the BRICS now become part and component of us, as it's going to address our major issue of unemployment and also the high rate of poverty we are facing as a country. So in going to this aspect, BRICS remains one of those structures which are pro-women and also ensure that innovation is the key in the space. Launching the BRICS will bring about innovation approaching main aspects in the ecosystem, latest development in international trend and locally trend that we are facing in terms of gender policies and also in universities that BRICS align itself with. In 2018, BRICS took a giant step in addressing gender despite the proposed creation of BRICS Gender and Women Forum championed by South Africa capacity as a chair in 2018. Given the fact that gender-based violence was a major issue in the world, including the BRICS country, 1 out of 3 women have experienced violence at the hand of their partner or family member. Many women feel violence against wives is justified in some cases like India. Moreover, there are general tasks less and work long hours than men. However, they still get underpaid as compared to their male counterpart. According to the human rights, Brazil women earn an estimated of less than 23% than their male counterparts. This leaves us in a huge space, and also in South Africa, we see a similar wage inequality, with women earning 27% less than their male counterparts. South Africa has begun investing in gender parity policy, and we've since improved in trying to champion gender parity as it stands. South Africa is leading BRICS counterparts. Progress toward gender parity ranked as number 18 in the world. Therefore, we have chosen that the KZN Premier, as was proposed keynote speaker, become part and parcel as she was supposed to have honored this event. Unfortunately, due to some busy schedule, her advisor took over and she's going to represent her. Then the theme that we had was to say, we are grounded in an idea of moving forward with the progress of women leadership and being our best self as navigating to post-pandemic world. This team was inspired by the appointment of the first president premier in the office in this year. And also, it was also driven by the fact that our institution is led by the principal and vice chancellor, Prof. X, who's a woman, with the DVCs, the deans, all being women. This shows that we are not foreign, and also we are moving in the right direction as the institution. So we decided that we should celebrate Women's Day as one of the BRICS countries and one of the BRICS universities. So in simultaneously championing BRICS agenda of parity, we felt it was very important to recognize women in leadership. Then it came to this point whereby we've chosen that these women, which are part and parcel of this day, becomes a part and parcel of this event. It is important to note that in fighting our major issues that we have said, BRICS stands for fighting inequality, poverty, unemployment, and also keeping entrepreneurship as one of the key magnitudes and space in the space. We are very firm and we are very happy to say we have our US friend led by Sasel, which they are providing us with a space of saying, South Africa has an energy issue. Now they are giving us a solution to an energy issue, and they are also proposing a curriculum that must be adopted by the university. DVC, we are lobbying the institution to look into this. They are proposing an energy qualification, which is going to benefit students, and also they are proposing a solar panel strategy, which they've been implementing to other countries. I won't speak for them. I'll leave it to their presentation to run what they have for us. So all this, it brings recognizing that we are not only going to champion socio-economic issues, but however, we are going to deal with trying to transform the curriculum and being the north of an African thought. Really for us, it's not about mimicking what other countries have done. Ours, we want a nod of an African thought, and this is really a nod of an African thought. Moreover, it is very important to note that we as BRICS, we are the best one on institutions in South Africa. And as we stand, we have 5 institutions which want this to be replicated to their institution. We hope that the university, we hope that the institution is going to keep this as one of the paramount projects, so that other institutions don't take this from us. Really, there are instances whereby, as universities are not being asked to take this BRICS Student Commission forward, they are going to use it as if it's theirs. It was important for us to launch today and also be fully recognized in the space of BRICS community, so that as we move forward, we become champions, we drive this into a next level. And we also hope that the institution will look into those aspects we have sent through. Like I said, for us, we don't only want to do social economic issues. We want students to participate academically, where we have research produced through this. We want to have projects which they will speak to how about the university going forward. As I conclude, I would like to go to a quote by Barack Obama, the former president of the US. He once said, "We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we see." So as we leave this room, I urge each and every one of us to go out there, make as much change as possible in the BRICS space, and also contributing in the academic space, and also try to address poverty and inequality. We as a country, we are facing high rate of inequality, and it's going to be us going to change this for the better. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Mzweleni. Big words coming from a small body. Thank you so much. He is saying, are we the change that we want to see? Are we? But he mentioned a lot of entrepreneurship. The minute you say entrepreneurship, I get excited. But I wanted to challenge women today. The research shows that women, especially in higher education, they are not fully participating in entrepreneurship activities that are provided to them by the universities. In the month of August, we have events lined up for you guys. I want you to go and register, be part of the change that you want to see. I wanted to see many ladies in those events. Check your emails, check the Unizulu website. It has been advertised. Join in, and then let us try to assist our government. We are all aware they cannot provide employment for all of us. At the same time, we cannot all be entrepreneurs. That's a fact. But we want you, when you leave the university, you leave with the skills that will assist you to create your own employment. Even when you are employed, the entrepreneurial skills, they are still needed in the working environment. Be the change that you want to see. Our next speaker will be representing our Premier, Honorable Nomusa Dube. She will be speaking on the topic that says, grounded in the idea of moving forward with the progress of women in leadership and being our best selves as we navigate the post-pandemic world. Ms. Linda Zama. Forgive me, I've skipped an important speaker. Before we call the Premier representative, we have the message of support from Dr. Nora Clark, the director of EDHE. She comes all the way from Cape Town.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sanbanani. Nani. And I said to my team, I'm not going to greet you in Zulu because maybe you think I can have the rest of the conversation fluently, which might not be guaranteed. I'm very pleased to see you all here this afternoon, colleagues, and special greetings to our wonderful host, representing the Vice Chancellor of University of Zululand, Professor Nomlomo. You know, her name is known and she is spoken about and one reads about her. And it's the first time that I'm meeting her in person. And how privileged are you to have such a strong team of women leaders of this institution, as Mr. Mthethwa actually pointed out, you know, and also greeting Ms. Linda Zama representing the Premier's office. Again, what a privilege to have the support of the Premier's office in the work that you are doing here. Greetings also to all the esteemed colleagues and speakers. Warm greetings and respect to the university academics and staff here at University of Zululand. And of course, the SRC and our main man here, Mr. Mthethwa, what a celebrity he has become, not only locally, but also nationally. People know him and follow his activities with interest. And then students, greetings to you, but specifically female students, student women. Yeah, own it this afternoon, own it. This is your month. Yes, let's give yourselves a round of applause. And it's not because you are more special than men, or because we are more special than men. It's because we have a different journey. We have a different journey, we have different obstacles. And as I listen to the esteemed speakers who have spoken before me, I'm bound to think of the issues around social justice. And the question is, in terms of social justice, has right been done to women also in terms of their economic participation? And that is why I'm so proud to be here this afternoon, to come and support and deliver a message of support from our organization, which is called Universities South Africa. It is a national it is the representative organization of all the public universities in South Africa. And the board of University South Africa is called USAF, actually. That's the acronym, not to be confused with the University UNISA. The board consists of the vice chancellors of all the public universities, including, of course, your own vice chancellor, Professor Muthosi. And what is happening here, and seeing that we are only 26 universities in this country, is of interest and importance to all the other universities as well as they come to know of this. People will read about this event in the media, they will hear about this event, and it might just be that UniZulu is paving the way for something great that can be replicated elsewhere in the country, in the interest of economic empowerment of students, but specifically in the interest of economic empowerment of women. So I also represent, as you have heard, an entity called EDHE, EDHE, we call ourselves EDHE, Entrepreneurship Development in Higher Education. And we are the national platform for entrepreneurship development across the universities. Our task is to facilitate the development of student entrepreneurship, through research and teaching and learning, and also the development of entrepreneurial universities. Because you can only honestly experiment and learn and try and fail and succeed in entrepreneurship if you grow in an institution where entrepreneurship is understood and supported. And in that regard, we have to commend UniZulu on the wonderful leadership that has been displayed in this regard. The EDHE program has been in place officially now for 5 years. And it was, initially we only had one face here at UniZulu. There was one face of entrepreneurship at UniZulu. And it was our very own program director that we have here behind me, Professor Makosazana Vezimagigama. She has been the one who's been proudly representing UniZulu on national platforms. She is, you can give her a round of applause, yes. She has been demonstrating what has been evolving in this very institution over the past 5 years. She has also been elected, democratically elected, as the deputy chairperson of the National EDHE Community of Practice for Entrepreneurship, Learning and Teaching. She represents you. And with that said, she is a worthy representative. That also brings me to another person who has been demonstrating on a national level what has been happening. Someone who joined in her footsteps in a different role a little bit later. And that is, of course, Mr. Mtintwa himself, who is a member of the National EDHE Studentpreneurs Community of Practice. There is only one person per institution who sits on this community of practice, and he is the one who is representing studentpreneurs at University of Zululand. So your university is very well represented and present on the national stage. But it's wonderful to finally be here. I've been waiting for an opportunity for a long time, an excuse to come and visit you here. It's my very first visit to UniZulu, and apparently not the last program director. So, and to be here, to see for myself, to experience a little bit of who you are and what it is that you are busy with. Colleagues and students, you know, when we talk about student women entrepreneurship, a lot has been said about women and their place in society and the obstacles, and the fact that student women are not as active in the entrepreneurship space as their male counterparts, although we as women are equally at risk when it comes to unemployment. And in that sense, it's important that we explore our options, keep our options open, whether it be employment or entrepreneurship, that we, at this stage of your lives, when you have the opportunity to experiment, that we have those side hustles, that we, that we do entrepreneurial things during our holidays, and that we see whether we perhaps have a knack or a talent for entrepreneurship. But specifically, on a national level, we have created a home for student women with an interest in entrepreneurship. It is called Student Women Entrepreneurship Empowerment Program, SWEEP. And we love the word SWEEP because we chuckle a little bit, because people think of women and think about domestic duties. We think about a woman sweeping away big things in the economy. So SWEEP is a Student Women Empowerment Program that is now rolling out chapters, university chapters, at 7 universities. And we want to just flag it as an opportunity that might be coming your way, and that you might be one interested in establishing student women at this university. You might be interested in establishing such a SWEEP chapter, which is positioned to not only develop your skills, but also connect you to opportunities for entrepreneurship and related requirements for the world of work. So just know about that, know that that is there, it is happening, and it is something specific for young women in this Women's Month. Now, colleagues, having heard about all these opportunities, but also not pondering too much on the challenges this afternoon of women and of students in particular, let us now stop and congratulate the organizers of this event, and specifically the BRICS Student Commission that is launching this afternoon, and the university leadership on taking initiative in putting something pioneering in place with a global place and with a global connectedness, something else that can connect and empower these students, you as students, for the challenges of the working world that you are facing. I want to congratulate you. I want to congratulate the leadership of the institution and then of course the Student Commission. I want to ask you all and invite you all and encourage you all to continue your advocacy for and your work towards social justice, specifically in terms of the economy and specifically in terms of what is right for women. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a wonderful afternoon and great work in this BRICS Student Commission. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Clark. I would like to call Ms. Linda Zama, who will give a keynote address on behalf of Honorable Nomisa Dube-Ncube.
Program Director, leadership of the university, members of the academia, university management, student leadership, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Sanibona, good afternoon. As I was entering this place, I got lost. The GPS told me something. So I was circling here. I could hardly believe that I am at UNIZulu because I got my first degree here ages ago. So it's quite exciting actually for me. What I think you also need to know is that before I became a lawyer, I was a teacher. And choir, by the way, I sing soprano, so I knew you were singing alto. They were on point. It's just that the alto was dominant, so I sang soprano for you. Before I dig into something serious, this is what I would like you to know. The African continent, South Africa, this province, it's a youthful province. People are very young here. When we look at the global north, people are getting old. In some countries, there are even incentives for people to make babies. Why am I sharing this? Because in 10 years to come, the world is going to be looking at Africa to get people to work. Because the global north is not getting young at all. Instead, we are going to be providing the workforce. So the question is, what type of workforce are we going to be providing? This continent is known to be rich in raw material. And because of the richness in raw material, many people do come here. They extract, they take away, they beneficiate. When they bring the goods back, those goods are very expensive. Beneficiation is done outside this continent. Why is this relevant to you as young people? Because I'm going to challenge that instead, I'm not saying let us not mine what is beneath, but we need to start mining people. Our education is supposed to be relevant because we need to rise to the occasion. We don't want this continent to experience what is going on, where you find people from the north of the continent getting into dangerous seas, the Mediterranean seas, because they are running away from their home, their continent. And when they arrive in the global north, people say, these people are poor, they are a burden, we don't want them. We need to start mining people who are going to rise to the occasion and be relevant. Now, BRICS. BRICS is not something new. And the initiators of BRICS are not us, by the way, Africans. Goldman Sachs, the rich investors of the world, started reading the signs in the global north. They said, it's dangerous if we continue to dominate the world, because there has been this dominance, and that is why there is talk about de-dollarization. And the Americans are quiet. They are not opposing this whole thing of de-dollarization. Do you know why? Because they know they are going to be powerful They are going to influence BRICS if we are not alert. BRICS is about geopolitics. Some of you will wonder, why has South Africa been invited to be a member of BRICS? Why not other, South Korea, etc.? These are advanced countries in the South. Why South Africa? For a very simple reason. Because of our geopolitical location, the ports, for instance, Suez Canal. Developed countries said it's South Africa. And another thing about South Africa is that systems work here. We even have the most sophisticated banking system in South Africa. Things work. I have traveled the continent. Things work here. But who owns those systems? But is our education relevant to what we seek to achieve? Is there innovation when it comes to the area of research? Is our research relevant or just esoteric? Do we have Africans actually sponsoring chairs so that we influence policy and procedure at a geopolitical level? For South Africa, BRICS is a challenge. I'll tell you why. Because I said the reason is geopolitical. So South Africa is supposed to rise to the occasion and have a defense budget, because all the members of BRICS are well resourced financially. Our budget is minuscule when it comes to defense. And if you're a member of BRICS, you are just not going to be a member. You are supposed to dig into your pocket, because defense is defense is defense. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm challenging you. What I'm saying is that we cannot be complacent, because it's going to be important for us not to be dictated to. Let us also influence the agenda, the African agenda. And we can do that if we are confident, if we know our story. Somehow, that is lacking, by the way, in South Africa. I think because of our history, we've been very inward looking. I think we need to look north. We need to understand our continent. We shouldn't be considered as rich cousins. We shouldn't boast about things that are not ours. There has been talk about unemployment, youth unemployment. I've said it, we need to mine people, because there is a shift globally. It's going to be us. Dada Mandela said, it's in your hands. It's in our hands. So I am honored to be here, ladies and gentlemen, to speak to you about the progress of women in leadership, in science and information communication technology, and how we can continue to move towards the world or the country we envision post-pandemic. The world will never be the same after the pandemic. And the good thing about the pandemic is that it hit everybody. So we have nobody to blame. Indeed, The past couple of years have been challenging on a number of levels, especially on the economic front. We have seen a decline in women's economic participation and a widening of the gap when it comes to gender parity. We have unfortunately also seen a rise in gender-based violence and femicide, because we are a traumatized country. We are a traumatized country. People who perpetrate the criminal activities that they perpetrate, they are sick. We are sick. It's not them enough. We are sick. We are a traumatized country. So we need to get to the bottom of the challenges we face. Why do men do the things they do? It's trauma. In spite of these challenges, knowing where we have come from, we have seen remarkable progress with more women in new leadership positions than ever before. A classic example is this institution of higher learning. Here at this university, we salute and congratulate Professor Brics+Unizulu for engineering the ascendancy of our 4 deans at UNIZU, who are female. That's lovely. So, as we celebrate these achievements, it is merely to pause and take a fresher view of the challenges that lie ahead. We don't mean to scare you. It's a reality. There are challenges, but we are equal. We are equal to the task if our mindset is right. In the words of our great leader, Nelson Mandela, Madiba, he says in his book, after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. The road to women's liberation is not over. Actually, I usually say it is exciting. What is exciting and challenging is the journey, not the destination, the journey. We enter August Women's Month 2023 far from the ideals that the woman in 1956 envisioned 67 years ago, when 20,000 of them marched bravely into the belly of apartheid, a most repressive and violent regime, to demand human rights for women. They took up cudgels. When the 4th UN Conference on Women that was held in Beijing ended in 1995, it was described not only as the largest UN conference to date, but it heralded hope for a better, equal, and non-sexist world. Among the thematic areas of concern included in the draft platform for action adopted in Beijing were poverty, access to education, inequality in the healthcare provision, violence against women, the needs of women refugees, access to participation in economic decision-making structures, greater participation in public life and the political process. On Tuesday, when the Premier was speaking and launching the Women's Month within the context of BRICS, there was something that troubled me when people were responding. There was this, and people were saying, hey, in order to challenge this whole thing, we need to play golf. I play golf. However, my worry was, we need to play golf, but we're not going to play golf like men. There has to be something different and new and fresh. I play golf, and the reason I play golf is because I raise funds for early childhood development. That's all. I play golf over weekends simply because golfers support, they are very generous. Other than that, I don't think I would be playing golf. So, at the end of June 2023, the provincial government of KwaZulu-Natal, for instance, it stands at 50%. The senior managers, it's 50% who are women, which is a major achievement for the present government. But I must confess, I sit in cabinet. Somehow, I don't understand why women are not assertive. This culture of fear, this culture of understating ourselves is troubling. We should be far away by now. We should be far away because we should be celebrating things that matter, not the outward appearance, etc. Things that matter. But we don't do that. Briefly, we need to induce the femininity in leadership position. We need to induce this precious gift of being able to do many things and do them very well. But we also need to learn to love ourselves. I don't think we love ourselves. Not in a vain manner, to love ourselves and say we are equal to the task, to love ourselves and say nothing would stop us, to love ourselves and say whatever it takes, we will get around it and get things delivered in a graceful and feminine manner. That is what I like. But we tend to be shy, to be apologetic. I don't know why. A report, for instance, these are celebrations from a government perspective. A report by the Parliamentary Monitoring Group published in 2021 on the participation of women in Parliament describes this country, our country, generally as one of the most gender-based parliamentarians. But maybe it's a weakness on my part. I still think that we want to feel this participation. We want to see it. We want to feel it. Even when policies are challenged. During the lockdown, some of us who were accredited as essential workers were working tirelessly as policies were coming from above, at national. What could be considered to be essential, to be sold? As simple things like babies' food, you know, the gazettes were excluding things that matter. The kids' diapers, the food for children, etc. So we would sit and say, we need to go back to national, that these must be ordered. They all, because we were locked down, but babies had to eat, children had to eat. They needed diapers, but the gazettes, I don't know who used to gazette those things, by the way, because we were very busy. We kept on saying, oh, no. You have omitted this. You have, now, it's our job to do that. It is our responsibility to look at documents and say, Are we all in here? If there is a deficiency, we need to say there is a deficiency here. The late Chief Justice Pius Langa once gave me an honest response. We used to serve together in the National Association of Democratic Lawyers. And I then said to him, Pius, why do we have to fight for space for women? He was quite honest. He looked at me with innocent eyes and said to me, Linda, we forget. And Pius was a very progressive lawyer. He ended up being our Chief Justice, but he was honest. He said, we forget. So it is up to us women to remind, to say, where are others here? That's very important. We should not be apologetic. The state of women in science and technology. So this picture, I have found it interesting when it comes to women in science and technology. According to the UNESCO Science Report of 2021, 1 in 3 researchers in science globally is a woman. The report adds that in Africa, 30% of science professionals are women, even though female enrollment in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, that is STEM courses, is rising. And we need to zoom in there and not be apologetic. This morning, I started at a school. We were discussing how Rotary can support a certain center. Their focus is e-learning. And this kept on coming up, that we need to support our girl learners because there is nothing out of this world about mathematics. And this province, by the way, we are not very enthusiastic about math lit because it's not going to take us far. So all I'm saying is that we need to be deliberate about getting more women and supporting them when it comes to ICT, mathematics, science, because that is where we are supposed to be. If this world is going to change, if this country is going to change, if we are going to provide responses in energy matters. So, with the United Development Program, the UNDP, saying women in science is a key driver for the achievement of Africa's commitment to power sustainable development through science, technology, and innovation, as I've indicated. Ladies and gentlemen, let us start honoring our leading women in science who are already making a significant contribution, and invest in attracting and retaining more women in science so we can transform our continent. Remember, I said we need to start mining people, not just raw material. Women leaders in science, in the science field, they have an opportunity to exert their influence and power to encourage a leveling of the playing field and open doors for the next generation of female scientists. Decision makers are expected to make decisions that radically change the lot of others, radically, not apologetically, just papering over matters. So the advent of BRICS and the establishment of the BRICS Women's Business Alliance that was launched during the 12th BRICS presidency. It signals the commitment of BRICS leaders to the struggle for women in those countries. But most of them, by the way, are men. Don't forget that. I have nothing against men, but at present, they are men. So one of the key priorities of the alliance is economic empowerment, and women playing a major role in trade between the BRICS countries. In this regard, the recently released study of 2019 by the GCE report on tertiary transformation made a number of recommendations, particularly to the University of Zululand, which I am pleased to see have clearly been taken to heart by the current leadership of this institution. So we applaud the University of Zululand for leading by example. Before I settle down, I would like, in conclusion, just to touch briefly towards a smart KZN and a gender equal future. It's not going to be delivered by other people, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be delivered by us. As you may recall, in 2022, our province launched the Smart KZN project involving the rollout of digital empowerment programs, capacity development, entrepreneurship, and data skills. KwaZulu-Natal is fast-tracking the rollout of broadband and connectivity, with KZN Broadband Phase 1 covering 1,150 sites. The South Africa Connect Phase 2 is going to be covering 3,000 sites, and telecommunication companies social obligation to include 8,890 sites, bringing the total to 13,040 sites. So the province is committed to rolling out Wi-Fi hotspots and digi-centers in townships, rural centers such as libraries, schools, health, youth zones, and community service centers. Let us make sure this happens, that it continues in a fast pace. So the province will extend the coding and robotics curriculum, which is being implemented in 26 out of 33 targeted schools at foundation phase. So the little ones are coming up now, and they're having fun, actually. I usually visit them, and to them, coding is second nature. They get very excited, actually. So the advent of the fourth industrial revolution has necessitated that we build inclusive information society and knowledge economy based on the needs of the province and the demands of the future. The needs of the province and the demands of the future. Now, what's exciting? As I'm looking at you, actually, I'm very excited. I just see the future here. Nothing should stop you. Nothing is impossible. Actually, the worst enemy we can think of is our mindset, yours and mine. There are times when I look at young people and say, oh boy, if I was them, I'm sure I would be having fun. Because, you know, some of us, you know, it's taken ages. I still remember in 1986 when the late Oliver Reginald Tambo instructed some lawyers to actually do what is being done at this university. You know, the charge, the mandate was for us to have a study group, a commission that would do research on the principles for a democratic South Africa. I was honored to be part of that group that did research on the principles for a democratic South Africa. And because we didn't want to be arrested in this country, we were hosted at the University of Zimbabwe by Professor Reg Austin. We did most of the work outside, undercover, because it was still very dangerous to do that. Why am I sharing this? You are very, very privileged. You are fortunate that you have space. There is liberation here, the space we didn't have. So a sky is not even a limit. A sky is seamless with layers and layers of exciting possibilities. So long live the women and long live the students. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Miss Linda. Our premier is well represented. Thank you so much. I would like to call you back for a token of appreciation.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. What?
Students, mina ngimzwile. Nimzwile nini? Are you the future? I am the future. Say it, I am the future. And together we can. Thank you. Choir, please. Thank you very much. That was so entertaining. For those who are visiting us for the first time, this is our daily lives. Kumnandi ukuba somoye. It's very nice. Uhamba kuye. You miss home. When you live here, you miss home and you always come back. The next item, we are going to have a panel discussion, and I will call people to come on stage. We will have the topic for the day is Women in Science, Breaking Barriers in ICT and Energy. They will look into the background and the context, and then they will also discuss the challenges. So I would like to call upon Mrs. Lebo to come on stage, Ms. Umede from PBS to come on stage, and Kessler from Moses Kodane Institute, Tutwala, Unizulu, our master student, Mrs. Mkabela from ABSA,
that you don't hear everything. This is the last one. I did not form.
Mr. Mzoleni, please come so that you can facilitate this session, please.
The other mic. Maybe. That's that one.
Program Director, thanks again for the opportunity. Let me chair the session. As we move, we have our panel discussion around the ICT, the women in science, ICT and energy as the main barrier towards women. So we're going to have this session whereby we discuss the background and the context and the challenges. You see here we have experts in the space. So our wish is to allow them to deliberate on the background of the space they are operating into and also give us the challenges they are facing into their space. First of all, I would allow Ms. Ente from MKI, the in IT space, to give us the background of the ICT space and where are we in the country and where are we. Thank you.
Everybody, someone at me? You're going to go to I'd like to know who made the music the most. It is one of the panels of protocol. And this is such a great evening, and I'm so excited to be here in this space of our Dr. Research, the Almost Institute. I am a research practitioner in the ICT space, and when we look at women in science and what are the barriers that we are wanting to break when it comes to women in ICT and women in energy, you know, it's not a simple matter because it is multifaceted. But what we see is that there has to be a very direct and intentional effort that we put in, both as the women in ICT and our male counterparts, because we see that there is a gap in gender disparity where we have many young women in our training institutions. We have
almost more women in the training institution, but when it comes to the actual practical in the industry, we have the participators of the economy in the ICT space are overwhelmingly male. The recent numbers globally, we 51% female, and in South Africa, just 23% who are actively participating in the ICT space. So there really is a gap when it comes to our women coming into the ICT space and succeeding and flourishing. So we need to look at what are these barriers and be so intentional of breaking them. And I was just so inspired this afternoon listening to some of our speakers talking about the relevancy of our curriculum and then making sure that we have practical implementation that is innovation, that is actionable, curriculum that is actionable. So those are some of the big main points that I think we need to look at finding relevant steps going forward. How do we implement a change of culture that allows the student, the woman, child to be exposed to ICTs, to be exposed in the energy space, and to flourish in that space with boldness, with the fullness of femininity, but strength and do one of those spaces. And so I think those are some of the big issues that need to be looked at from the top down altogether.
You mentioned our Department of Computer Science in the institution. Then they are deliberate, they're in the academic space. They know it all. We as scholars, we deem so lot happening in the space. Let us allow them the space where they will tell us, right, what is happening in that space.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Namus Sidiwa. I'm the lecturer at the Department of Computer Science, UNIZulu. So I will be talking about the challenges that we face as women in ICT. The first challenge that we are facing is gender stereotype, which contributes to the perception that ICT is known as a male-dominated field. So this can somehow discourage us women from pursuing careers in ICT, and that can lead into misrepresentation of women in ICT. So the underrepresentation of women in ICT is evident even in our computer science enrollment. Undergraduate degrees, you find that there are fewer female students compared to male students. It is also visible at postgraduate level. Same thing is noticeable, as well as staff members. We have 7 academic staff members, which are male, and we have 4 female academic staff. So this gender representation of women is visible even in our computer science department. Okay, so looking in general, even in our technical and management position, it is still the male that are dominant in the field. And furthermore, when we look at the high schools, it has been mentioned that we also need to look at our high school plans. We see that there are fewer female learners that are participating or that are doing the STEM subjects, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So I think it starts from the when it speaks to tertiary institution, that it's really something that needs to be corrected from high school level. Another challenge is that we need to balance work and life. Okay, because most of the time women have more family responsibilities compared to men. We have to take care of the family, the house, the kids, etc. So that one is also a challenge for us who are women in science. And to some certain extent, it can lead to, if there's an opportunity for ICT position, and the other women can choose not to take the position in ICT because of the demands that they are facing, especially when it comes to family responsibilities. Okay. So another challenge is unconscious bias. They don't do it on purpose, but it is happening. Most of the time, women are categorized as weak or weaker human beings. So that's another challenge that we are facing. So the mindset that our main employees have is that they categorize us as weaker human beings, and they think that they might not perform well. So resulting in women getting limited opportunities. So these are some of the challenge. And then lastly, being involved in projects. So this is also speaking to unconscious bias. Sometimes we don't get opportunities to get involved in some projects because there are changes that nature might take it forth. So they think that if they involve a female in a certain project, and for example, a female gets pregnant. So what's going to happen to that time where women have to be away? So these are the things that they see, and sometimes it prevents us from participating in the projects that can make us grow in the field of ICT. Thank you.
The bank industry, given eyes and expect from Intala Bank, Miss Janase, let us hear what is happening in the financial sector. I think that is what we did. Let us hear what is happening.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, with particular emphasis to the ladies. In the financial sector, my lived experience is that there are fewer women in positions in ICT. And it is still a predominantly masculine area. And I am very pleased that UNIZulu is leading and pioneering the launch of this student chapter. And there is a very deliberate and intentional aim to advance the cause of women in the STEM fields. And I'm also happy that you, as students, are in an environment that is enabling. I wish to congratulate you first and foremost, and also the leadership of this very iconic institution for enabling such an environment. Thank you very much. In our sector, in the financial sector, my experience has been that we get, when opportunities arise and positions are open in the ICT, it's largely males who apply for this position. I think that also stems again from the fact that there's always been this notion that science, technology fields are for men, and not many women play in that space. But also, we are finding that ICT training and certification is quite costly. Again, the previous as mentioned, this work-life balance, there is that reality because women hold up a number of positions at home and at work. We find that whatever funds you may have available to go on training and certification, you have to consider, if I spend this much to go and train and be certified in this particular ICT course, who is going to feed the children? This advent of COVID has wreaked havoc in our lives. We find that many of the women are now bearing more than one household because of the losses that we have. So there are financial constraints within the corporate sector itself. I work for a development finance institution. We are having to work of balancing available budgets and also try to compete in this fast changing ICT arena. So those are the areas and challenges that we find. But of course, with all the barriers and challenges that exist, opportunities are there. I am happy to hear that government is rolling out a whole lot of Wi-Fi. And I, from a rural area, am especially encouraged because one of the biggest challenges that we have always found as an organization that is largely based in KwaZulu-Natal, that there are challenges of electricity, there are challenges of connectivity in areas where, indeed rural areas especially, and there is a reluctance of the corporate sector to invest in infrastructure and make it available because they always say it is not economically viable to make such. I would love to have those corporates to be challenged to do more in this regard because there's a lot that new young ladies over here and men can benefit from the availability of connectivity and technology.
Thank you. Even one of the speakers representing on seemingly the ICT space has an opportunity, but there are few female who are participating in the space, which means we may say it's a men-dominated space. So I'll give each 1 minute. What can we do to address that? Before we go to that space, we'll allow our female students tell us what is happening that space. At the end of the day, this is their age. Let's have a space where we get them speaking and what they think is happening or what they aspire to the space. Can I have mics moving around? Can I have images who want to participate in this discussion? Images want to just raise down your hand, then okay. Before we get to you, because we are exciting, we have one of the panelists being a master's student in computer science. Let us have you while we are down the page.
Greetings, everyone, and all protocols removed. My name is Fala. I'm currently doing my master's in computer science. Okay, before I go to Commission, I feel like I should first highlight on the challenges that we are facing as students in computer science or in IT. So imagine if I came as a first year wanting to do computer science. And I was given information that the first programmer in computer science, the main thing to do is programming. Without programming, I don't think we have hope about computer science. So imagine if that information was given to me that the first programmer was a woman. Ada Lovelace, I don't know if people know about that, but the first programmer was a woman. So imagine if that information was given to me, how motivated I would have been, knowing that a woman was able to do this, the first one to do this. Imagine how driven and motivated I would have been if there was emphasis on that point. So I feel like there's a lack of recognition for women in science broadly. So women are not more emphasized, their achievements are not recognized as well as they should be. Take the likes of Elon Musk. Elon Musk, no one doesn't know. Imagine that Bill Gates and the likes, Armstrong, etc. But did we know about Ada Lovelace, the first programmer? No, we didn't. So I feel like there should be more emphasis on women achievements and more recognition for that. So that I think I highlighted on the challenge and the solution. Moving on, as my panelist has mentioned, stereotypes. I cannot come into a space that is male dominated and be looked down upon like other people. Let me highlight this once again. We as women are as equally intelligent as men. That's a lot. That cannot be changed. So I cannot come into a space just because it is male dominated and be looked down upon just by the stereotypes that they assume that I'm not capable. So that alone just gives less motivation for me. Like, how did you cope this? Did someone else do this for you? And maybe. So that alone just gives less motivation as a woman in computer science or ICT to do better. Because now they're questioning my capabilities. Like, am I not competent enough? So those are the challenges that we sometimes face. And also, I feel like we as women in a space of ICT, to be honest, I feel like sometimes we do not uplift each other as we should. You come into a space with less women, already there are less women in that space, 20%. And then you see competition. It's not a matter of, I want to be a part of this circle, I want to give each other, I want us to empower each other. It's a matter of wanting to stand out and leaving the other behind. So I feel like in as much as we want to say it's male, can we start looking at the aspect of supporting each other as so we can actually cement ourselves in a space and grow in that space together. So, yeah, thank you.
Let us then open the door to women who are we have many women who want to voice out. This is your show, this is your speech. The only thing you are undermining everything. This is your speech. This is how chances pass. In absence of any student, to participate. Let us have 1 minute for my panelists and for my leaders who are here in class. I know Dr. Khan is looking to say something. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Thank you.
I was still wondering whether I should be saying something or not, but Mzwe, you know, he reads first, okay? My question is, I look at the audience, I'm wondering, are we keeping quiet, ladies? Because you sit here with a question, you sit here with a comment. Why is it that we keep that comment? Why are we not confident to ask that question or to make that comment? Is it because we are a mixed audience? If it were a female audience, would you have asked a question or made a comment? Someone else spoke earlier now, esteemed keynote speaker, spoke so well also about the issue of assertiveness. And you've got to take that risk. You've got to practice, especially, as I'm simply recalling some of the panelists and then the speaking, because these are the role models who are giving us a sober overview of what it means to work in a male-dominated and in an ICT type environment. But let's take the cue from that and let's move out of our comfort zone and be brave. Take that step, ask that question, find your voice. Ladies, I really think we need a changed mind. I know you are there. I know you can say something that will add value, but you are shy or you are afraid. That's it. Let me tell you, the world is rough out there. You need to be assertive. One of the reasons some people will be saying, did you do this work because they are undermining you? It's because we do that to ourselves. So we are going to continue to challenge you because the world it's something, I don't want to use that expression, dog eat dog, it's awful. However, you will find competition even among other women. You stand your ground, but please, your voice, your voice, your voice.
I think it's very important that as young women, we have a good and an innovation goal to look towards. What really holds us back, I truly believe, is the culture of misogyny, as my colleagues have alluded to. And that culture can be broken down, especially when it comes to the workplace. We understand that we see someone's rules, they totally live, they're respectful, that is great. And I encourage you to hold on to a culture in most cases. But when it comes to the workplace, understand that we're talking about our minds, we are talking about our work skill, and that is you are capable. So that is where we need to really feel free to be fully and completely ourselves as women as well. And that culture really
encourage the young woman to give them space to grow, give them a space to work on a project, give them a space to handle great responsibility. So mentorship is a huge key to that as well. And I would like to tell you, even some of our seniors here, which we have, young people and we have our seniors, that we need to have cohesion. Otherwise, we'll have the same thing over and over generation after generation. But I believe that this is a generation that's going to have leaders who are effective, who are resourceful, and who are bringing up more and more women leaders into the future.
Have some, have something that can encourage more voices to pipe up over there. At Etala, we have had a program called Inkunzi Isematole that has been going on for years, which encourages young entrepreneurs to submit innovative ideas that Etala will then fund. And then also provide mentorship, guidance, and support, and encourages young people to establish their own businesses. There are a whole lot of programs that are currently underway that require young people to participate in. So perhaps, if anything, financial incentive should encourage you, young ladies, to think about or publish your ideas and get the support that you require. The funding is available to those who dare. And we really do not have any choice but to push forward, have our voices heard, and really occupy our own spaces in this sector.
Just to add on the solution, I feel like we should be provided more education for STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I feel like young girls should get an early exposure. There should be more programs that emphasize STEM for young girls. And when it goes to the role models, I would love to be more emphasis on that too. And like this event, it's very much highly appreciated for the celebration of women. So I would like to, there should be more role models that are being more recognized. Like when you're going to a conference, there should be more females that are put on the panel. More presentations that are solely based on females. So that could also be a solution. And then there could be a provision of targeted training programs for women, specifically women. Let's say we want to hire women, we want to hire someone for a position in software engineering. That application, I feel like when I see that specifically written in bold, apply women only, I feel like that could be something more empowering for us women, like, okay, they recognize you. So I'm being seen, I'm being heard. So that could also be a solution of some sort. Thank you.
Thanks for our analysis. Now that as we deliberating around ICT, we have an issue of load-shedding in the country, meaning energy issue. Now we have our US friend, we've seen this association will be taking us through. They have nice presentation. They are presenting the curriculum and the solution for our organizations. The teachers and now they are from Green Tech. Let me give him a chance whereby he will introduce his fellow associates accordingly and also get to a specific by. We know our challenge requires to be specific by we discuss energy and other stuff. We know there is things no changing there and not going. So let us just should stay to the discussion solutions they have for us as an institution, as a community of South Africa and the BRICS family. I would also like to acknowledge all our online colleagues and guests. We have so many of them online here. Thank you. The same online can be moved with us.
Yes, hello?
Hi, Cecil.
Yes. Hello? Yes, hello?
You can Hi, Cecil.
Yes.
Yeah, can you please take the floor? The floor is yours. We are waiting for you in the venue now.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's why you're calling me. Thank you. Caddy, I'm going to turn it over to Caddy. She's going to begin our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. You can go ahead. Hopefully you can hear me fine. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Wolfgang. I'm going to share a few slides now. Go. Okay.
Are they there?
Can you see my slides?
I don't know. I can't.
No. Well, I have it on the screen here. Let me try it again.
I could see them.
Okay. Then it's fine.
Okay, then let's start. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm really happy to have the opportunity speaking to you here with my team. My name is Wolfgang. I'm co-founder and CFO of Africa Green Tech. And yeah, we are a German-Malian company that provides people with access to electricity. And yeah, so to say, we empower people in two ways, with electricity plus with the potential to, with the chance to unfold their potential. And yeah, I'm super happy having the opportunity to present the story of Africa Green Tech, the German-Malian company. I can show you, or you will see that it's true that entrepreneurship can really make a change on this planet. And you will see how powerful women have an influence on that. And I promise you that after this presentation, you will understand a potential answer to the question, how can we solve this problem here? 600 million people have no access to electricity. 55% of rural population have no access to clean water. 40% of the fruits and vegetables just go to waste, and 71% of the population do not have access to reliable internet. And the question that we have to raise here in the year 2023, why is this still the case? And why do still people like this guy here on the right side, Nasser Umar, flee and leave their villages? And how can that be? And how can that be solved? And this is what we would like to look at today and give an answer to you. My name is Wolfgang Rams. I'm co-founder and CFO of Africa Green Tech. And we are a startup that is combining the effects on people, planet, and profit. We are a social business And yeah, we are using solar energy to bring electricity to people, to empower them. And yeah, what we also do is we are setting up an academy, because it's not enough about energy. You also have to make sure that people get education and entrepreneurship. And in this case, I'm representing the European Institute of Management, where I'm teaching entrepreneurship. And I'm doing this since more than 10 years. And I can say that I see it the same way. Young people are our future. You are representing the new way how to do things. And it's all about entrepreneurship. And yeah, this is what we would like to promote. And yeah, talking about power women, I would like to hand over to Kadi Kanuti Tunkara. She's our Director of Brand and Communication, and she's also a very interesting and powerful woman, and she will tell you more about Africa Green Tech, our story, and the solution that we have, and how we address the problems that I've just mentioned. So Kadi, please take over. And
Thank you. Thank you very much, Wolfgang, and hopefully all of you can hear me fine. It's a great honor. I wanted to start with this slide just to show you my relationship with South Africa. I've been to the country several times, and in many occasions it was for education. So I'm the brand and communication manager for AGT, but before that, I was born and raised in Mali, West Africa. I'm an African champion in the sport of women's basketball, but also the chairperson, and I'm proud to say the first African to be the chair of any commission at the World Anti-Doping Agency, and also an International Olympic Committee athlete entourage committee member. It's with this capacity that I went to South Africa, but you see that we still remain into the empowerment phase, but also into the education phase. So this is really where I want to contribute to the growth of our continent. So it's a great honor, and I wanted to show that. On my last trip there, I was given, and as a gift, your national jersey, just to show how much I know of the situation, especially when it comes to energy solutions in the country, because I've faced it visiting the country twice last year, and I've seen what we can do at Africa Green Tech. So to go further and explain some of the background also, which ties into Africa Green Tech, Dr. Wolfgang did not go thoroughly throughout the story, but it's the love story between Germany and Africa. And what attracted me to work with them was really our ethos and our core values of what we want to achieve as a company. I like Africa Green Tech, and I'm very proud to be working for Africa Green Tech, because they want, and we want to look at Africa with dignity. We want to look at Africa with sustainability. We want to look at Africa with empowering those who are most vulnerable, and we know it, but also most prolific are women. So I was very touched by the previous speeches from my dear sisters who are there of many different backgrounds, but it is true. The core and the sustainability and entrepreneurship, everything lays in the hand of women on our continent. So I'm here because of another woman who was willing to empower me as well. So her story is, it's Aida and Thorsten that you can see here. Aida, she's married to Thorsten. It's a German couple, as you have heard before. But with their love, but look at where we are and what we are achieving so far. So Africa Green Tech, we operate in 9 countries. It was built in 2016. We have over 140 employees now. We have moved quite along with the base and headquarters in Senegal, which is to really add some value and employ Africans on the continent, but also operate from the continent. So the goal is really for us to be also able to produce on the continent and to serve the continent thoroughly. So you can see the countries here, but you can also see the number of people that we have empowered through electricity, over 62,000 now, we can say the numbers have increased, and the small businesses that we have empowered that are very impactful, and many women being involved with this endeavor, and we'll show you a concrete example. But rather than that, I think Dr. Wolfgang has mentioned over 600 million people still needed electricity in our country, and how many of you in South Africa are going through the crisis now? I think it's even worse when we had electricity than it's cut off. So, but I want to show you what it looks like in a short video when we go into those villages and they see what we call our impact site, right? Which is our holistic mini-grid solution that we provide. So we look, when I say that we look at Africa with dignity, it's really using electricity as an excuse to really empower our community at large with different solutions. So you can see in the middle what we call our solar antenna, which is a containerized system, but that also brings Wi-Fi, electricity, of course. So it is a mini grid. And we believe that this is the solution most adapted to Africa, especially to South Africa in the crisis we are in. In an emergency solution, we can provide electricity to over 400 households in the village environment. We also bring water purification because we know that water is essential. It's not to make money, but it's really to ensure that populations are empowered. We also have what you can see in the bottom that we call a pool tenor. And I must say that we have many requests, especially for women on this side. We also have a foundation, even in Gambia, where women who are selling fish have ordered this device to be able to sustain the freshness of their food, the fish that they're selling. But in the rural environment, it's also to preserve the harvest and to be able to sell it at a right price on the market. Because as we know, 40% of our agricultural harvest goes to waste and cannot be sold. So this is also to empower women at first and communities at large. So this is our holistic system. And when we do that, and when we achieve that, we have done 26 of the impact sites so far. I want you to show you next a video of the reaction of the people. So it's a short video and we come back.
Chamantadong kafok Sud-Sahara Afrika be mo million ke mo woro de vino minuti courant sur chauffé.
Sei dabei.
Be part of the change.
Well, thank you very much. We said that images speak louder than words. This is what happens, but I've tried to imagine what this can look like if we wanted to provide service to South Africa. So Dr. Rams as well has been traveling to the country, thanks to Mr. Cecile, and we have thought about what could be some of the best solutions for your country. We also have partnerships because we believe that as moving forward in the global era that we need to find key partners who can help us fill the gaps in where we cannot fulfill all the needs of innovation and electricity. And we are proud to say that we have patented, let's say, a solution that we feel are the most suited for township. It is called Power Blocks. As you can see, it's an AC and DC battery driven device, which is kind of like a standalone, let's say, a nanogrid solution. As you can see, 1 to 8 to 10 kilowatt power, and that can be assembled together, meaning that one household in a township can assemble this device with the neighboring household, and they can get get more power through that process. It's an autonomous device. I can show you, if I could add time, I will show you another image of the power blocks, how it's operated in the island of Vanuatu by a 12-year-old girl. This is how easy it is. It's a plug and play system that we are the co-owner of. and that we think is one of the solutions, again, with our other innovative solution that we can bring to the country. It's also secure, so it's not something, it's something that you can really plug easily and also preserve security and lighting at all hours. We have seen some of the issues that you are facing with security due to the lack of electricity. We also even understand the impact that it can have on studies. We're here in a university format, but not having electricity in a university can stop the studies, and students not having access to computers and so on. So we really want to find also the right solution for you as a university as we moving forward. So we're talking about women empowerment. I wanted to show you a concrete example from my own country of Desiree. Desiree is one of the women that we have empowered in the communities in Mali. So she is from an agricultural background, but had a small store. But thanks to our contemporary solutions, she was able to purchase electricity really at an affordable price, and able then to enhance, let's say, the quality of the store during off-season times of harvest, and be able to sell beverages. And she's the happiest at this time, as she's able to really provide for her community with fresh beverages, but also for her to sustain and maintain a revenue, even in times where she cannot sell her harvest. Those are many of the stories. Just want to emphasize that, again, some of our ethos of Africa Green Tech is really to empower women that we believe are the core and the heart of the African community as well. So thank you very much. I think I will stop there because we also have Mr. Cecil Callahan. For me, it's an amazing honor, but also a pleasure always to support our continent in the best of my ability, and to be on this panel here on Women Month. I must say I'm very excited about the opportunity to provide more, to support more with Africa Green Tech, and thank you very much for your time. So Cecil, I'll leave you the floor to wrap up.
Okay, well, thank you, Caddy. And I would like to say it's always a pleasure to be in KwaZulu-Natal. And my origins in South Africa goes back to the early 1990s, where I was encouraged to come to Africa, and I started the first sovereign wealth fund in Botswana, the Pula Fund. And during the 1996 Olympics, Zinzi Mandela and Zweli Slangwani encouraged me to relocate to South Africa to participate in the new empowerment initiatives and investments and incubating investment companies. And I decided to do so. So a woman basically recruited me to South Africa, and I relocated. And since then, I've created over a dozen investment companies. The larger ones are large global companies that I brought to South Africa, such as Franklin Templeton Zamani, TRI, and I helped develop or create the Kahiso Trust, and several other investment organizations that involve skills transfers and training in South Africa. What I would like to do now is summarize Africa Green Tech today for you, which is something that I hope to be successful in bringing to South Africa once again, because I truly believe in it, and I will be with it 100% day to day in seeing the implementation of strategies and success of this company in South Africa. First of all, mini grids are a multifaceted solution in that it can address the current emergency as well as being a long-term sustainable solution for South Africa's energy transition from being a centralized energy company to being a decentralized energy country, to being a decentralized energy country. I think that since the burden of energy and the drudgery of women's work with energy falls on women, right? And so I think that renewable energy provides a solution to some of the difficulties in domestic life and in trying to create a small business in agriculture and being economically productive. Solar energy and the control of solar energy will help women in women empowerment and entrepreneurship and the incubation of products, ideas, and the incubation of businesses. And so then what we would like to propose is to begin a technicon, a word that I learned in South Africa since living there 30 years, or a technical school or program with the university. And a university could be about 4 years old. And that university would focus on the design, the development, and all the technical aspects and the financial aspects of solar energy and developing, design, and finding solutions for solar energy, and with a special focus on the mini grid. And we believe that program should have a special tilt on women's involvement in renewable energy. I've learned from history time and time again, crises create opportunities for women. I saw crisis create an opportunity for my mother. When America is always involved in wars and crises, and so then the backbone of the country has to go back to women to come into the jobs, to man the factories, to man the farms while the men are gone. And when the men come back, the women don't get those jobs back. They stake claim to that. They prove themselves and they take claim to that economy. Crises are always opportunities for women. I believe that this energy crisis in South Africa is an opportunity, but very special opportunity in that the population does not have a large opportunity of people trained in solar energy and renewable energy. And so you don't have to worry about knocking on the door and trying to go into someone else's house. You can build your own house right here now, your own skills, and stimulate your own entrepreneurship in a new field with no one in it. It is yours wide open. You can truly exploit this opportunity. I believe also that this transition from South Africa being dependent on Eskom and coal will create several small businesses that will focus on things such as the mini grid. What we will propose is to have this mini grid curriculum at the university, and then we have some synergies with that in working on designing a program for the university to make the university energy efficient by integrating the skills of those students over time to develop solutions and to also be the managers and provide the maintenance and the support of renewable energy for the university. We believe that by creating a population of women and other people technically skilled in renewable energy and solar energy will be a catalyst for entrepreneurship. You know, after certain wars, especially World War II, Japan did not become a first world country until they had more technically trained people in Japan than in America on a percentage basis. We need to get as many women technically trained in renewable energy possible to take that industry now while it's wide open and there's no competition for labor in that industry now. And you would never have to give it back. And again, I believe because in the rural area, mini grids or solar energy will be a solution to a lot of the agricultural and economic problems that women have in their domestic life and in their efforts to create economic agricultural products for markets as well. So we also believe that student population will go out into the community and produce or create opportunities for themselves as skilled people and entrepreneurial people to maybe franchise mini grid platforms. So you can have small mini grid businesses and small mini grid franchises. And so again, I believe that the energy crisis right now, in conclusion, is what I've seen throughout my life and what my mother taught me early on, that women didn't get the right to vote in America until after World War II because of the crisis of war. I've seen time and time again that crisis creates opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cecil. Ms. Hira and the colleagues that are online, I believe that, like you have said, that there are opportunities that are being created by the crisis that we experience in South Africa. And I hope that this will not end with the presentation, but the engagements, they need to start with the University of Zululand so that we can show the country that it can be done. We can be able to supply energy in our institution and around the communities and near the university. So this is the beginning of the new things to happen. I believe that from now going forward, we will continue to engage with you, from the people in Germany, from the people in Russia, to assist us to deal with the issue of energy. We all agree that we do have a crisis in South Africa, and it has become a norm that now we know that load shedding is scheduled from this time to this time. So let us not normalize these abnormal crises in South Africa. Women, we are challenged. Let us rise to the occasion and come up with solutions. We are not looking down upon our men, but we can see that the world believes in us. Let us do it, and I believe we can do it. With those few words, I will request there is a lady, I believe it's a lady, this is our man, and not actually who will render a poetry. Are you here? Not actually, are you here? As she is approaching the stage, I would like to give the token of our appreciation to our panelists. I will start with Dr. Clark. Mrs. Sibego. Ms. Anne Keswan. Miss Ayetu. Oh. Save the best for last, Miss Chang, I say. Thanks, yeah. Well, just on the phone.
Mina ngunonethelelo lonoqhamuka Skhuleke ongafunga qhamuke nje uvukaza kwesinye isibongo. Umanyathela angakhohlozeli kuqhala ngumhlabane sakhiwo sawo umnono bentombi. Phela mina ngumamntambo umamncube umamsilankazi umalandela langa lizelosho umandla ngothi ezinganxibanxiba kwemfundo abafokaza noma mlonto ngokulondoloza iy'ntandane zamanye amadoda indodakazi kamama wayo usho ukunane lenjabulo kamakhulu. Ayidinga kuyanga kwaZulu phela mina ngundoni kaVezu ngithethe amagama abopheneli kosaziwayo besintu. Ngiyani Sibongi, ngiyani Sokodlokazi, phela mina ngiqhawekazi impinda amagama ulwazi lami nesakhiwo sami. Ungubaba onjani? Ungubaba onjani ozala ingane emakede ayikhiphile imfazane? Ayilahlise kwenyongo yenyathi imacebe ukushaya isifuba ngalokho wena ungubaba onjani? Makholwa thandazana sisizwe sifa phela bamshonde obaba bakumelayo ukuba ngobaba uma engayiphikanga ingane ekukhuleni kwayo akayazi nakhona kube yazi ukusela ukuthi ngelinye ilanga ayiphendule isigqila sakhe socansi kazi wena ungubaba onjani? Mihla namalanga malanga wonke izibalo zokunukubeza kwey'ngane nabesifazane senyuka. Akwedlula lokhu mina ngisazi ngokujwayelekile kusho kwehlula amadoda kuyebikwa. Nakhona kumesibika akekho abasikholwayo ingakho sikhetha ukuphela ngaphakathi sokwebuthola kaZulu. Ukulila kwami akusasho lutho, ukugeleza kwey'nyembezi zami akusasho lutho. Isithombe ngawe baba ungikhumula izembatho zami ungithinta amathanga wenyuka nawo makade sikushebela kwawo kukhumbuza mebusheni bakhe asiphele emqondweni wami makade usungifisela okuhle namanje ngisazibuza kaze okuhle khona lokhu kungiciko lami ngisalusana wena ungubaba onjani? Mina nomama ngesaba ukubikela ukwasengeka ngikholwe impilo yami ayisenasisekelo manje umhlaba usulukakile abasekhe sengingathembela kubona yaze baba ukuthathela umntombi bami lapho ngikhala ngimemeza ungabukisiseka wena ukuthi ngiyangizala kodwa ngisho sengikhalile Ismaye ungubaba onjani? Ikhala ngiselaphenduka isihogo ngoba lapho ngingeneme wena nami angizokenama. Ngikhumbula leli langa kusomalanga kunelanga nginonomalanga lapho babekhumulo bami. Lelo phupho lishabalale okwamazolo ebonilanga yazwe baba kahle kahle lento ibiphakathi kwakho nonembeza wena wokuba inkanuko yawubulala unembeza wena yazwe baba mina ngiyintombazanyana nje eselokhu yazalwa inukubezwa ngubaba wayo. Ngikhuluma nje bane abafowethu noma ngithi iy'ngane zami engiy'khushulile ngithi ngifuna ukufihlisa ihlazo kahle kahle ihlazo yilona leli kazi wena ungubaba onjani? Into omusha wesilisa mfika umuntu wesifazane oseduze wakho umyeke aqhakaze abe nembali ayiyo ngundoni kaVezu ngithethe amagama bopheneni kaNkosaziwayo besintu.
Hawu, siyabonga kakhulu. NgiwuVezu Nonyali Mgabadeli, nami ngiyakwazi.
Thank you so much, Sisi. Your poem was very touching. It spoke to the reality of things that are happening. But I'm so honored to be part of University of Zululand because a few days ago we had Imbizo for men. Madoda Sabelani, you are called. We are here. Protect us. Oh, Nontethelelo awukwazi nje uvele uhambe uyohlala ngithi singasaphanga lutho. Come and receive your gift. Our DVC has a special request. Ukuthi nje umuntu owodwa fine, owodwa nje.
Emakhanya, ezathi uziphelele phayisa. Yapha emgaqweni sidlala pha. Ziphi? Isitole nyani shoma emgaqweni. Hayi bo, ngifuna service. Ngaziphuma phi?
The sound, mic, podium. This is on this. How about you?
Thank you. Thank you.
Hola, don't forget it. You have to off.
Thank you. Thank you to the choir. Now we move to another important part of the event where we officially launch our BRICS Student Commission. So I would like to call Professor Nomlomo, Dr. Ngogazi, and Mr. Zululand to launch our new chapter.
Our esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've come to what we would call the real Magoya. We've come now to, as our program director has said, to the launch of the BRICS Student Commission of the University of Zululand. Please allow me to say just a few words about the launch. I must say once again, I want to extend apologies on behalf of our Vice Chancellor, Professor Mdose. She was the one who was supposed to have been here to give this official launch of our UniZulu BRICS Student Commission. Excuse me, sorry, I think there's this teacher in me. Can we please give the respect that this commission deserves? Thank you so much. Thank you. It is with immense pride that we gather here today to celebrate the launch of the BRICS Student Commission at the University of Zululand. This momentous occasion marks the beginning of a new chapter in our academic journey, one that holds the promise of fostering international cooperation, collaboration, and the exchange of knowledge among the brightest minds from Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. As we inaugurate the BRICS Student Commission, let us look ahead with hope, determination, and the unwavering belief that through collaboration, we can transform challenges into opportunities and pave the way for a brighter future for our nations and the world at large. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us as we officially launch the UniZulu BRICS Student Commission. I declare the official launch of the BRICS Student Commission of the University of Zululand.
Thank you so much, DVC. May I request Mr. Secret Sekone to come and make the vote of thanks. And I have some good news after Mr. Sekone.
I got nervous all of a sudden, but I'll start with the words of Mark Twain, where it says there are two types of speakers, those that are nervous and those that are liars. So hopefully I'm still on the right path. the KZN Premium, Honorable Nomuse Dube Ngube in absentia, the advisor to the Premier's office, Ms. Linda Zama in presence, the Amajuba District EXCO member, Ms. Trina in absentia, the Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of Zululand, Prof. X. Ntose in absentia, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Prof. V. Nomlomo of Teaching and Learning, Mrs. Como, the Chairperson, the chairperson of the board, Moses Kotane Institute. Dr. Ellenson, the CEO of Moses Kotane Institute, the executive members from Itala Bank, Ms. Njangase, Ms. Nkabela, KZN ABSA Regional Manager, the EDHE Director, Dr. Clark, Ms. Charmaine from KZN Regional Manager, Safety and License Department, management present, deans of faculties in absentia, the head of departments, academic presence, and the University of Zululand student populace at large. Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. And yes, my name is Secret Zagome. I'm currently the secretary of BRICS Student Commission, the first of its kind in the universities of Zululand and South Africa at large. It is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked hard to make this event a success. On behalf of BRICS Student Commission, I express my sincere thanks to all the participants that invested in making this event a grand success. To the Honorable Premier in her absentia and your office representatives, we would like to thank you for the trust and support you've shown us. Your presence has brought dignity and a sense of importance to our commission and the University of Zululand community at large. Indeed, we are blessed. To the Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of Zululand, Prof. X. Ntose in absentia, the executive and management at large, we appreciate your support and your recognition to this launch. And most importantly, to the organizing committee, from the Office of the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Prof. V. Nomlomo, Teaching and Learning, and Ms. Tembalet Mo, to the CMD department, and most importantly, to the SSD. Dr. Ngoga's team, your contribution to this commission will not be forgotten. To Ms. Tim Soyoya from the ResLab coordinator, we thank you for your support. And to the Office of the Student Administrator, Ms. Mnisiti, also known as Mrs. Noto. And to the University of Zululand Choir, what amazing voices we have and the talent we have. We really acknowledge and and to you all, the University of Zululand student populace, whom I know didn't come here because they said they are refreshments. I know you did not come because of that note, but you attended in order to be informed, in order to meaningfully engage in BRICS matters and to become global citizens. Deputy Vice Chancellor, Mr. Cecil and companions, because most did not hear what they were saying, Mr. Cecil and companions were presenting the Africa Green Tech proposal to bring the West Africa Solar Energy Technical and Academic Certificates curriculum to Zululand, with developing and executing an independent solar energy program for the University of Zululand and its community. Ladies and gentlemen, as I've clearly stated, that we are truly humbled and privileged to have had the presence of such prestige guests and speakers who share their invaluable insights and experiences. Your teachings have undoubtedly left an indelible mark on all of us, inspiring us to strive for excellence and, most importantly, equality in every aspect of life. The launch of BRICS Student Commission is a critical step towards fostering collaboration among students from different nations, particularly BRICS nation, empowering them to continue to contribute meaningfully to the advancement of science and technology. This initiative does not only pave the way for new ideas, but also creates a platform for knowledge exchange, igniting the sport of innovation and progress. Mrs. Linda Zama stated that women play a major role in trade between BRICS countries. And I agree, because when women lead, the economy grows. And as we continue to promote gender priority and elevate women to leadership position, we pave a way to a more just, equitable society and economy. No economy can reach its full potential where women don't have equal opportunities. BRICS Student Commission wages war for women empowerment. And yes, we will win some of the battles and probably lose some. But ultimately, we shall and must win this war. You strike a woman, you strike the economy, and we can't accept that. Thank you. Ngiyabonga, ngiyabonga. Oh, ngicela ukubonga MC for Prof. Magigaba. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited now, but I would like to award this gift to Prof. Magigaba. I will say it's a sabotage, but there's always room for growth. So ngiyabonga Sihlalo for the opportunity. I would like to award this to the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Teaching and Learning, the Professor herself, V. Nomlomo.
Thank you so much. I was ready to thank myself because he forgot to thank me. And you have been a wonderful audience. Whether you came here for refreshments, or you came here to listen. Okay. Thank you so much. You've been a wonderful audience. I hope on the 16th and 17th of August, you will come back to this particular hall because you have so many things going on for you students. And in the midst of that day, we will have students from Appalachian State University. They will be here to visit us. So please do come. So before my announcements, I would like to call, not to call now, after the announcements, Mrs. Como, our visitors from the Premier's office to come for the photo shoot. Then now, the most important part, the happy hour. All our students will exit on gate 4. That way you get your refreshments. All those with and all those that are wearing the blue lanyards will go to gate 5, and those that are in red, I think you will follow me. Then in all the red, please come to stage, not the red student card, the red tag. You come on stage for the photo shoot. Thank you and have a blessed afternoon. Thank you so much. BRICS executive, come on stage, please. BRICS executive.
Please, Lerato. Oh.